who we are is like this. And so there is that within us that can lift us up to where we go, oh, I really screwed this up. You didn't screw it up. You are working out the details to have what you want. Oh, I really need to get rid of all of this junk that's in me. There is no junk in you.
We create our experience. That's what I love about the Science of Mind teaching, is that it gives all of the power to the individual regardless of what circumstances they find themselves in. I love to get emails from people in other countries that don't have the socioeconomic support that we do, and they're still demonstrating money and health and opportunity and joy and love. They're still doing that because law is law. It doesn't matter where you are or what is happening. The power is within us. We are the ones that decide what kind of a day we're going to have. Whether we gave it away the moment we awakened, oh, what a terrible day it is. So many things are out to get me. We just gave our day away, and then we wonder why we live a day not of our liking. When we can claim the day, when we can own the day, when we can own our life, when we can own our experiences, it doesn't matter what's going on around us. It doesn't matter whether the team is the number one team in the league. It doesn't matter whether we're the underdogs. It doesn't matter whether things didn't go the way I thought they should go. It doesn't matter because we have our head wrapped around our life. And people say, oh, well, I'm getting my whole life together. I don't want to get my whole life together. I want to get my moment together. I want to get my day together. Because if I get my day together, my life will fall into place.
Whatever your fear is, you made a story up about it, and you're going to look for things that support that story. You're going to complain about them to energize them, to build them up, to make them real. Don't do that. Shift your consciousness. Look at it differently. Is it really the old lady? Is it the young lady? Is it really the chalice, or is it two faces? Whatever it is that you see it to be, it will be. Shift your consciousness. Whatever your fear is what you're talking about. So listen to what you're talking about. If you're complaining about something, it all goes back to fear. And fear is all about separation and not feeling good enough and not being connected and all of that easy peasy stuff. Easy peasy to let go of. Move into a state of gratitude.
And I love this idea of oneness because it is so pervasive in everything that I believe. The idea of oneness says that you cannot have half of something without the other half. So you cannot have a desire for something and not have the thing of which you desire. Think about it. If you could think a thought that said, boy, I really want to have a life where fill in the blank, and that didn't exist for you, then there would be an empty spot in the universe. The whole idea of an infinite would not hold together. All of that quantum physics is based on would be shot. Time and space would no longer exist, and we wouldn't be here. Everything that you can think of exists. It's not that everything that you can think of you can have. Everything that you think of is already yours. You already have it. And so when I look at lives and I go, what in the world is it that is blocking so much good from our lives? I'm reminded of the story of the Western man that goes to see the Tibetan monk. And the Tibetan monk offers tea, and the Western man is, oh, yeah, the Tibetan monk is going to give me tea, hot stuff. And so the monk brings out the saucer and the teacup, and the Western man holds the cup, and the monk starts filling up the cup. And the monk does not stop when the cup is full. The monk continues to pour and allows the tea to overflow and overflow and overflow all over the Western visitor, who is insulted. How dare you pour hot tea on me? And the monk says, how can you learn anything when your cup is already full?
And I love this idea of freedom. In Science of Mind, what we learn is that our freedom is already a given. Nobody can give it to us, and therefore no one can take it away. Our freedom is not contingent upon any person, place, or thing. And so we don't have to have things all organized and right to be able to be free. Our freedom is within us. And as we choose to experience freedom, we create that freedom. And it doesn't matter what has happened in the past. It doesn't matter what we have told ourselves about whether or not we can or cannot be free. Our freedom is a God-given right. It is inherent in our nature to be free. And when we take that freedom, we can take it in any circumstance. We can take it no matter what condition is going on. This is our freedom because we are the ones who choose what we will think about, what we will talk about, and what we will believe in our lives. Gratitude creates happiness. You want to be happy? Go around and start being grateful for something. Did anybody walk here? Great. Be grateful for your car. Honestly, if you're grateful for your car, it will run better. If you're grateful for your car, chances are you'll take the trash out of it, maybe wash it once in a while, and it'll look better. Be grateful for your body. Be grateful for your job. If you're going to go to work somewhere, be grateful for it.
If you have an opportunity to be generous, you should take it. Because what that does is that sets in law that I have more than enough so that I can be generous, so that I can give out into the world. Wallace Wattles says one of the tenets of being rich and getting great is to overfill your place, to always give out more than you take. And when we shift our focus, when we practice, when we're diligent, when we're tenacious, when we're committed to this idea that we're going to pull our attention back from that which we do not wish to have, from the conditions of life, and focus only on the power and the presence within us that is manifesting joy and prosperity and health and happiness, we can do anything.
When we come into this teaching, the initial promise is that all has been given, not by an outside power deciding if we're worthy of that or not, but it is just the essence of life itself that has already given us the fruits of life because we are alive, that has already set a space for us where we belong, where we are safe, where we are loved, that we don't have to prove ourselves, we don't have to turn into someone that we're not. We can simply open and accept the amazing experiences of this life. There is a science to getting rich, and that yes, you can be rich. My goodness, if I could have seen ahead in time from when I was given blood plasma twice a week, they won't take my blood anymore, it's been so skewed. Twice a week, if I could have seen the life that I was going to have today, I would have meditated more, I would have treated more, I would have paid more attention to classes, I would have gotten here faster. But I got here in my own time doing what I needed to do. And even though we are well versed in these ideas of prosperity, happiness, and joy, sometimes we fall backwards. Has anybody ever fallen backwards? You got it all going together? Okay, Barbara, I want to master money in my life. Okay, well, my first question is, are you tithing? No. Well, that's the thing, that the reason that we don't give our money away is based in fear. And so if we're holding on to an idea of fear, then what are we creating but fear? We're creating that which we are afraid of, that which I have feared has come upon me. We are focusing a master power of creation in our lives, and if we're holding on to a sense of lack and limitation, then we're going to demonstrate the outpicturing of the lack and the limitation, and then we're going to point to the demonstration of the lack and the limitation and say, I knew it. And what we should do is say, I did that. I did that. In a universe of infinite prosperity, I managed to create lack. I am so powerful. It's like when people come to see me and they go, well, I'm so lonely. Really? With 7.5 billion people on this planet alone, you're lonely? You are a master at keeping your good away. So if we know that it's the same mind that can create prosperity and abundance and health and wholeness, that created the lack and the limitation, then we can get on our horse and steer it where we want it to go. We can take it to where we want to be. We are meant to be happy. Today is a happy day. Happy day is on Chris's license plate outside. Today is a happy day. We are meant to be happy. You know, even the Dalai Lama says the whole purpose in life is to be happy. Really? The Dalai Lama. You're supposed to be happy. We're supposed to prosper. Perfect health, perfect wealth, and perfect happiness. These three things fit together so well. Some people say, well, I can't be happy until I have all the things I need to have. No. Happiness is an inside job. Happiness is all about your choices, your experiences in life, how you're spinning the tales that you tell yourself, and how you're creating your life. If you are dependent upon being happy before you can have a physical healing or a relationship or more money in your life, and you have a neurotic, dysfunctional unconscious that says, I don't get to be happy, I don't get to have these things because I don't deserve them, because somehow there's something wrong with me, there's a black mark in my soul, I'm a miserable sinner and I need to be punished. If we've got that going on even on an unconscious level, then we're going to sabotage our healing, our relationships, and our finances so that we don't get to be happy. Sometimes you just have to suck it up and be happy anyway. Nothing is happening to us. Nothing is out of our control because we are powerful, creative, spiritual beings alive and well on planet Earth. We are the ones who have all of our answers. We have all of our guidance. We have all of the opportunity that we ever need. Paracelsus. Truth lies within ourselves. It takes no rise from outward things, whate'er we may believe. There is an innermost center in everyone where truth abides in fullness. And to know consists rather of opening out a way from which the imprisoned splendor may escape, rather than effecting entry from a light supposed to be without. Robert Browning. Truth lies within ourselves. It takes no rise from outward things, whate'er you may believe. Nothing can give you truth. There's an innermost center within everyone where truth abides in fullness. Not partial truth, not half truth, fullness. And to know requires that we open up and let it out instead of try to get it from things outside of us. Trying to get people to do things, trying to get situations to match my image of what I think I want. No, we are the only ones that have our answers, and we have to let them out. That we are one with all that is. We are connected to all that is. I am you and you are me. And that as I open my spirit eyes to that, I see God all around me. And that there is something very special within us. We're not just one of 7.5 billion. We are the point of energy of the creative force of all of life showing up as us. Troward says, my mind is a center of divine operation. I say God showed up as us, with our face, with our life, with our thoughts, with our deeds. God shows up as us. But whatever it is, it's not a thing, it's not solid, it's not the space part of time and space. Whatever it is the godding of us, the spiriting of us, the living of life as us. And it is constantly moving. We are constantly vibrating. That's why we are beings of light, because we come from the light. And we are the light. It is our job to be the light.
How can we open up to more of anything if we're holding on to less? And that comes in very many subtle ways. Holding on to ideas of, well, that's the way that it is. No, that's the way that it was. Let it go. Well, this is what happened to me. Well, that happened in the past. Let it go. Well, only certain things are possible. You remember that old adage of, well, I'm only human? No, you are divine. Let it go. Well, it's impossible. Let it go. It's never happened before. Let it go. I don't have what it takes. Let it go. Whenever we are full inside of our cup of that which we used to be, there is no room for that greater good to demonstrate. And so we have to learn to let go. And I'll give you, as a culture, we're terrible at it. We're terrible at letting go. Slip out the back, Jack. Make a new plan, Stan. No need to be coy, Roy. 50 ways to leave your lover that do not include talking to them. Ernest Holmes says, nothing is real unless you make it real. Nothing is real unless you make it real. You're the one who decides if it's real. You're the one who energizes it into physical form, and then you look at it and say, well, I knew it was real all along. No, you made that real. No one can hurt you unless you allow them to hurt you. And so he says, refuse to have the feelings hurt. Notice he says the feelings. They're not your feelings. You picked them to just do them for a little while. You're doing joy, you're doing anger, you're doing upset, you're doing happiness. They come and go at your choice. Refuse to have the feelings hurt. Refuse to receive anyone's criticism or condemnation. In the independence of your own mentality, know that you are wonderful. You are wonderful. That's not conceit, that's the truth. What could be more wonderful than the manifestation of infinite mind as you?
Really getting that we are freaking amazing. We are spiritual beings alive and well on planet Earth, creating our lives in love and joy, in happiness, in prosperity and health and wholeness. That's our job. Our job is to enjoy our lives. Our job is to sit at the table where the fruits of life have been set before us.
If you will be willing to look at yourself in the face and say no more, I no longer will allow myself to be ruled by fear. I no longer will allow myself to talk to myself that way. I no longer will allow myself to live a small life. I'm not going to do it because what's in store for me is so much bigger than what I've had in the past that I don't want to hold on to the past. I want to let go completely and jump forward into my future. I deserve to live the life that I was created to live. You deserve to live the life that you were created to live. There's nothing stopping you except what's going on in here.
Being, the presence of the divine, is always becoming into form. That this vase is actually the presence of spirit coalescing into form as that vase as we speak. And that it is our observance of it that connects us with that infinite possibility of the vase right here. And that if we could see clearly, we could actually see it shimmer and flow into form. Everything in our life is shimmering and flowing into form. It is being, becoming as everything always. It is what we are. There is nothing static. There is nothing outside of it. We are not spiritual beings and then there's a God somewhere.
I mean, you take this amazing power called Barbara Waterhouse and you focus it on poverty, and boy, I can do it. Until I learn that I don't have to do it, that I can do something different, that I can experience life fully, completely, joyfully. I can have more money than I ever dreamed possible. I can be married even though he has those traveling feet. I can be married to someone who's amazing.
I want you to have your best life ever. I want you to have more money than you know how to spend. I want you to have a body that jumps out of bed in the morning and says, bring it on. Bring on the day. Let's put on this day and go out and live it. I want you to have relationships where you get lost in each other's eyes. And when you decide to do something, I want every door to open, the red carpet to roll out in front of you, everything to be put together already, so that when you show up, it falls into place. And the way that we have that is to find the good. To find the good in each and every circumstance and every situation, so that we can live the life that we are meant to live.
There is no outside power that is saying you have to suffer. There is no outside power that is saying here is the dangle of joy and happiness, but you don't get it because of something that you did years gone by or lifetimes gone by or whatever. There is nothing outside of us. We are it. But the way that we use it is so important. I love this teaching. I love Ernest Holmes. One of the things that he wrote that so touches me is, such is the power of right thinking, that it cancels and erases anything unlike itself. It answers every question, solves any problem, and is the solution to everything in your life. It is like the light of eternal truth that bursts forth through the clouds of obscurity and blesses the world with glory. It is the absolute with which we are dealing, and nothing less.
It is our job to bring the love into our experience. When I allow myself to be clear, then I can demonstrate anything. It is our summer to prosper. Prospering is mandatory, because we will not hide behind playing small.
And when we change the way we see the world, we change the world we get to see. Did you catch that? Yes. Very important. Very important. Find the good in your life. Jesus said, I am in the world, but not of it. That's the thing. I want to be able to use these wonderful, lofty, metaphysical ideas of oneness and bring them right down into my life. I want to have what I want to have. I want to go where I want to go. I want to be who I want to be. I want to do what I want to do, but I don't want to get lost in it. And that's what I think makes us different. That when we believe that the world of two-ness is all that there is, we can get lost in the world of two-ness. When we believe that what's going on the news is real, we can get lost in it. When we believe that our story is all that there is to us, we can get lost in it. But when we can step beyond that and see the bigger picture that says there is a power and a presence within each one of us that can carry us over every obstacle, that has the answer to every question, the solution to every problem, and all we need to do is to depend on that, to rely on that, to give it half a chance, to just stop telling it to shut up, but to listen to it, then we can have miracles happen in our lives.
That means that you are the point of God. How you doing? Are you living your God life? Are you seeing with your God eyes? Are you loving with your God heart? How are you doing? Are you living the blessed life, the rich life, the full life? I love springtime because after all of the illusion of winter and losing everything, the trees are stripped bare, most of them. They have lost their apples from last season. They have lost their leaves. They have lost some branches. They have been through it, and they stand there naked. And maybe some of them go, oy vey. Happy Passover. Oy vey, it's all gone. Something has taken from me everything that I have worked so hard for. And then springtime comes. And somewhere from the depths of them, and literally from the deep roots, from the inside of their trunk, rises up something that botanists may call sap, but I call life, I call spirit, I call God, I call power. That there is a power and a presence within us, symbolized by the trees, that rises up within us and bursts forth into a whole new life. There are apple trees on that bank covered with blossoms. every last flower is going to turn into an apple. And in that apple, there will be seeds that can turn into countless, infinite apple trees. If that's going on in a tree, what's going on in you? What's going on in me?
All right. So what I want us to do is to get that we've got the ability to shift our experiences in our lives by looking at what's good about them. Looking at what is positive, what is strong, what is wonderful, what's the gift in this? And there's a gift in everything. There's good in everything. There's a blessing in everything. But if we are not finding it, we have our eyes closed. We have an opportunity each and every morning to awaken and decide what kind of a day we're going to have. Are we going to have a great day where things come together in serendipity and synchronicity and balance and harmony for our best? Or are we going to have a day that everything is just awful? We're at that choice. But that means we have to be conscious upon awakening. You'd think that they go hand in hand, awakened and conscious, but not necessarily. Sometimes we can awaken in the physical form and not awaken spiritually. And so we awaken in the morning and we go, rah, 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 no coffee, the cream went bad, and oh my goodness, my hot water's off, or whatever people's issues are, and they have just screwed up their whole day, maybe the whole rest of their life, by simply giving in to that mindset instead of, I am at a point of choice right now to decide what kind of day I will have. And so, being the aware spiritual being that I am, I choose to have a fantastic day. Today is a happy day. Today is the best day ever.
To fix your attention on the best is to draw to you only the best. And sometimes it'll be tempting to say this isn't the best. How in the world could there be a best? There can't be a pony in here. It's a pile of pony poop. And yet if we claim it and name it and know it and grow it, we'll get a pony out of there. But it takes mental discipline to do that. Is when he said, the mountain will be to you what you are to the mountain. That is pure metaphysics. That life will be to you what you are to life. What are you bringing to your life? Are you bringing ideas of renewal? Are you bringing ideas of resurrection? Are you bringing ideas of triumph? Or are you bringing ideas of, it's over, I've been victimized, I'm helpless, I'm hopeless? I don't know about you, but I don't have a hopeless and helpless God. I don't tell God about my big problems. I tell my problems about my big God. If you have an opportunity in your life to be generous, you put it there. So what are you going to do? You're going to go through all of the effort to create it, to put it there, and then look at it and go, no, I can't do that. I'm just not that big. Let me tell you, you are bigger than that. You are better than that. You have more within you than that little situation. What you are is the commander of the creative forces of heaven and earth. You can manifest your life any way you want it, but you have to do it. So not only if you have an opportunity to be generous, take it. If you have an opportunity to forgive, take it. Don't just use it to put another mark against someone. What kind of a life is that? What are you, the consciousness police? Well, let me go around. Since there is no God up on a cloud with a big book, maybe you've decided to be that. Let me go around and write down all the bad things you've done. And then what do? You create people around you that do those things. You know, they're perfectly nice to other people. They get around you, not so much. That's you. That's not them.
It is in us to allow that which we are, that presence of spirit, carry us over any seeming obstacles in our life. Even if we die, there's no place to go. We may lay our bodies down, but where can we go? We are eternal life. We are the energy of spirit. Einstein said matter doesn't even exist that it is only energy slowed down enough for the senses to recognize it. That truly all there is energy and sound. Einstein. There is something within us that can supersede and transcend anything. And every time we create something, we create an opportunity for us to grow. Our resistance gets in our way. Every grape that goes into wine has to be crushed. Every diamond was held under immense pressure. When things happen, when the seed is planted in the ground, don't you think it looks around and says, oh my God, it's dark? What have I done to deserve this punishment? Not realizing that changes are taking place to grow? When we can see the conflicts and the situations in our lives as opportunities for us to really be who we've come here to be and to grow into who we've been meant to be, then we can get in touch with that. I am the magnificent presence of Spirit. All that God is what I am right here and right now. So I always have more than enough. I have more than enough time, more than enough opportunity, more than enough patience and love, more than enough money, more than enough whatever it is. I always have more than enough, and I'm going to bring that more than enoughness into every word, every thought, and every deed of my life, because I am always setting spiritual law in motion. Remember who you are. You don't have to have the answers to everything right away. You don't have to have the solutions. You don't even have to know what the next step is. What you have to do is remember who you are. And so I sat up in bed and I just took it in as a mantra. I remember who I am. I'm Barbara Waterhouse. I can do anything. I have proved that over and over and over again, that I can handle any circumstance. We built this place. We didn't have a nickel when we built this place. And anyone who knows anything will say, well, you can't do that. But that's what we do. We do the impossible. We do what's in front of us, knowing that whatever we need will show up at the moment that it's needed. And if it hasn't shown up, we don't need it yet. What a break. If you don't know the answer, you don't need to know it yet, because you will know at the moment you need to, whatever it is that you need to know. You will do whatever you need to do at the moment that you need to do it.
We are a point of the divine. We are an individualization of spirit, and that's different. We are not, I'm a part of God, Margot's a part of God, someone else is a part of God. No, that's not the way it is, because then we've moved from oneness into two-ness. My part and your part, they're separate. And you know, there's a lot of safety in two-ness, because if there's two-ness, then there's something that can give it to me. Yay, if I'm good, maybe I'll get it. Something that can take it away from me. I couldn't help it, they took it away from me. But when there is oneness, it is all at the point of us. Transcendence transmutes. It does not rectify. So if we want to deal with rectifying, here's one thing, here's another thing, we're going to mediate it out and fix it and do all that stuff, then we're not transcending the situation. We're very much staying in the situation. Well, Barbara, do you know what they did to me? Well, if they did that to me, I'm going to do that to them. And then we're going to call in the big guns, and we're trying to rectify it. That will always keep us at the level of the problem. Whereas if we transcend that, if we move into seeing things with our God eyes, loving with our God heart, thinking with our God mind, then everything is different. Everything is a blessing. Everything is here for our good. Every being on the planet is God in form, a being of light, a being of love, in their perfect and right place, doing exactly what they're supposed to do, no matter what I think. When we can see with God eyes, and when we can live our life as that God being that we are, everything shifts and everything changes.
I am an eternal wellspring through which spirit moves in all of its infinite bounty. That's what I am, and I'm going to bring that into every word, every thought, and every action in my life. When I see people do that, their lives flourish.
somebody happened to mention that their money had just fallen apart. And true to my nature, I said, "Are you tithing?" And they said, "I stopped." And I said, "Are you out of your freaking mind? Are you crazy?" This teaching is a 24/7 teaching that you don't get time off. You don't get to take weekends off or have evenings free to go into some anger and some resentment and some victimization and some drama trauma where you need your issue tissues. You don't get to have that. That this teaching calls us to a high state of awareness all the time if we want to have our lives change. If we want to get the benefits of this teaching, which are great, then we have to do what is required to have those come. We're coming for a reason. We've chosen to incarnate on planet Earth for a reason. And I think every time we have an opportunity to give to some kind of higher something, a higher idea, a higher energy, a higher consciousness, then we lift not only ourselves up, but we lift everybody else on the planet up. And I think that that motivation for giving is what makes us have an abundant and prosperous life.
When we look at the world as blessing after blessing after blessing, then we get blessing after blessing after blessing. So, the first thing to do is to start listening to what you say. If you have a good friend, you can encourage them to help you. Really? Did you want to say that? Really? Is that what you want to create in your life? That everything is so high, everything is hard, oh, those are terrible people out there in TV land? No. You want to say life is a blessing, life is rich, life is good. That's why I have you repeat your treatment for increased income over and over and over and over a day. Every day I send you off to Dick's Sporting Good to get the clicker that counts so you can do it 100 times a day. But Barbara, what else will I do if I'm busy affirming my prosperity, health, and joy? Nothing. God is in this place because we are here. That means every place that we are, God is. Every place that we stand upon holy ground. Every word that we speak is the word of God. All of the power of creation is at the point of us right now. And as we open up to that, and instead of fighting what is that didn't fit our idea of what should be, we open up to the higher realm of what is. That God is right in the midst of this. You come from the light. You are the light. That's all that there is. It's not God and junk or me. No. You are perfect. You are whole. You are complete right here and right now. And when you get into that, you start manifesting that on the outside. You start demonstrating it in your life. And people go, oh, how'd you get that job? How'd you get funding for that project that you wanted? Oh my gosh, that person just walked into your life and everything was different. Take your power back. Don't give up. Don't say, oh, it's too hard. Oh, it's too stressful. Oh, it's too big of a deal. No, you have it all within you. Stop being at effect. Stop being bounced around by the conditions that you created in your life and move into that consciousness of cause that says, I can do anything. I can create anything. I can be safe anywhere. I can prosper under any circumstance. I can be in my joy and love no matter what. And when we do that, something starts to come alive in us. Something clicks, something opens up, and this power comes through us to lift us into that creation. It's a wonderful experience. The possibility and the potential of this teaching boggles my mind, and I've been in it for over 40 years. Our ability to reach out into thin air and to manifest into our lives is right here, but that's just the top of the surface. Our ability to open up to amounts of joy and love that are infinite is right here. I'm not going to give up on something just because it hasn't happened yet. We're in a time-space continuum. although it is the eternal now, I'm grateful that everything doesn't manifest right now. Because if everything manifested right now, then every stray thought that I had would be in my face. I'm grateful that I get a chance for a second thought. Because sometimes the first thought is not the best thought. So we always get a second chance. We always get the second thought. And we're able to bring ourselves more into alignment with who we truly are. An amazing being of light and love, set loose on planet Earth. We get to get into alignment with who we truly are. We are the magnificence and the abundance, the love and the joy of God itself as us. We are created to live a divine life. We are created to live the best life ever.
We are not broken. We do not need to be fixed. We are already connected. How in the world could we be alone? There is only one. Every being on the planet is another us. We are connected with all that is. The native teachers say that there is a light, a thread that connects each and every one of us to each other and to all beings and all things, because there is only one. So when I started to move into this idea that said not only was I not empty, broken, and hurt, but I was full and loved and supported, it started to change things in me.
Lighten up. This was not meant to be such a hassle, this life. It was not meant to be so hard. It was not meant to be such a struggle. Lighten up. Let yourself off the hook, and practice that by letting everybody else in the entire world off the hook. You Broncos fans, let the Seahawks off the hook. You Seahawk fans, let the Broncos off the hook. It's all a reflection of you.
It's all in our head, and guess what? We are in charge of what goes on in our head. We are in charge of our thoughts, of our responses to experiences. We are in charge of what we make something mean. It only means what you're making it mean. Doesn't really mean anything in and of itself. It's a neutral. It only means what you're making it mean, and that's what's going on inside of your head. Well, Barbara, you don't know how insulted I was. That's in your head. It doesn't matter what happened on the outside. You took that experience and you got insulted. You got your panties all in an upwad about it. You decided to have an emotional reaction about it. You talked yourself into, actually, if you want to know what really you're doing, you're running a drug lab in your body. You're like a meth kingpin. And every time you create a drama experience in your head, you trigger off this amazingly complex neurochemical response in which you actually secrete drugs into your body. You get high from it. That's why when people say you're a drama addict, it's true. You're literally addicted to the experience of the drama. Not because of all of the turmoil, but because of the drugs that you're getting in your body. Your body stimulates a fight or flight response. The limbic brain goes crazy. Out comes adrenaline, which gets you all hyper and has you breathing heavy. Oh my gosh, do you know what they just said to me? Oh, I have every right to be upset. Oh my God, this is terrible. That's all a response of the drug lab that you have cooking in you. It's all going on in your head. I mean, let's be honest here. We're a bunch of druggies. At the moment that what we need is required, it will appear. And so I sat there Wednesday night in the middle of the night and just chanted, I remember who I am. I remember who I am. And I invite you to chant that with me just for a few minutes. I remember who I am. 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 I remember who I am.